Welcome to The Next Big Star, hosted by James Kelly and Ninon de Rosa.
This thing.
I know. Okay, we got it.
I do that sometimes.
All right, here we go. Hello and welcome to The Next Big Star. I'm your host, James Kelly, and my co-host is Ninon de Vere Rosa.
He's trying to get
Ninon
it
de
right.
Vere Rosa.
There
How's
you
that?
got it.
Okay,
There, you've done
right.
it. You've done it.
And our guest is Ali and... Ali?
Carlynn.
Carlynn. That's
Hey.
right, Carlynn. I'll get this right.
You will.
Ninon, help out here. I don't know.
I don't know her name either, so I don't know what we're going to do.
No one ever does.
But
Her
you know,
name's weird.
you know, I have another show, as you very well know, and
Yes.
I never pre-interview. I never know their names, but one way, what I found out how I can do it, though, is if I get on set and I say, what would you like to be called on set? If I don't know their name, and then they tell me, and then I know their name.
There you go.
And the
See?
other, the
So,
other day I
Carlynn, we'll
said
do that next time.
I said, just call me Bob. I don't mind what you call me.
We're going to call it Ali Bob. Okay.
Ali Bob.
Ali Bobby, Ali Bob. All right, Ali.
Well, thanks for having
Ali
me.
is gorgeous. Where did you find James? How did you find this lady?
I think you found her.
You found me.
Did I find her?
It's a British
How
thing.
cool is that? I'll tell you. Yeah. Listen, I'm losing my microphone. What do you think?
Oh, that's
Vicky?
okay, as long as you can hear us.
We just don't want it to mess her
Yeah.
hair up.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to mess my hair up.
Okay, all right.
No,
all
wait
right.
a second. Oh, hang on a
But
second.
yeah,
Okay.
thanks for having me, James.
Yes,
This
so
is fun.
Ali, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, as you can tell by the voice,
Mm-hmm.
I'm originally from England, Liverpool.
Yay.
Another Brit in
A
the
fellow
house.
Brit right next to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, she's from where the Beatles are.
Yes,
That's the
the,
famous
Liverpool.
Beatles.
just
Liverpool.
just down from Penny Lane. Literally, it's a
See
walkable.
how she says, I in England say just, and she says just.
Just down the road.
Just on the. See, that's the difference in England with our different accents. 'Cause
Yes.
we might be a small country, but we have a tremendous
Different dialects.
Dialects
We
are
do
unbelievable.
different. But my little, I'll try and keep it little because we talk so much anyway. I arrived in Las Vegas in 2012 because I auditioned for a show.
So did I.
What date? May 1st. Wasn't
No,
it?
Was it
no.
the same show?
No, me and that same show. He's joking, James. That's a big joke, truly. But I could dance. The dancing or singing or both? Probably both.
Both. What?
Both.
When did you arrive in 2012?
I arrived exactly on January the 20th,
Oh, there you go.
2012.
Okay. So
So I'm
yeah,
a little longer than you.
and Carlynn beat us because Carlynn's born and raised here, so she was.
Yeah, I think she wins. Although, actually, no, I was here before you were born.
Oh, okay. He wins.
Okay.
He wins.
So we're going to go off on 10 million tangents every story.
Yes,
so.
I know. The whole
Yes,
question
that's
was,
just
tell us about
Yeah.
Ali.
It was a simple question.
There we go. Born and raised in Liverpool. I was a singer as soon as I was able to speak, literally from a musical family. And I performed, but I did get my degree at Leeds University.
Oh my goodness! What are you
In-
doing in Leeds?
We'll wait for it.
I can't.
In mathematics.
Oh, wow, okay.
Well, no, wait a minute. British people, actually, when we say British, we mean the whole of we don't just say England, it means British means the whole place. But you know, the British people are very good at maths.
Well, apparently.
Yeah, they're very good at figures, but don't get that figure wrong.
Well, at least she is, anyway.
I was. So I got my degree. As I always say, my mum and dad just said, get your degree and then fly off and do what you want to do. I got my
You
cap.
literally did.
I literally have my cap and gown for a maths degree, July, and then August I was in Los Angeles for my first rehearsal. And then all these years later, I've been paid to perform, traveling the world as a singer, here, there, and everywhere. I've never really ever pulled out my mathematics degree. I've only
Wow.
What a
ever.
waste of time.
But hey, it's in a frame. Mum
Well,
and Dad.
she did what they asked.
I
You know.
did.
Of course, because she does. She obeys.
I did, and I was lucky enough to get on a tour, which was actually an Abba show, which travelled me around the world to the most craziest little islands, off of you name it, I've been. And then in 2012, I was asked to audition for a show that, ironically, you'll appreciate, the tour was meant to be in the UK. Sorry about that.
That's right.
It was meant to be in the UK, out
Action.
of
Typical.
Bournemouth, and
Oh, Bournemouth. Well, I'm from Torquay.
that's why I'm saying shoots down there.
So it's down that area. It's absolutely the upper class area.
Posh
actually.
part.
The posh
UK.
part.
And long story short, they said to me, we'll give you the tour. I signed contracts, and then 2 days later they apologised because they ended up giving it to somebody who'd already done the tour and had to get in the show quicker. And I was like, no worries. A week later they said, we're really sorry about that. but is it okay if you still do the show, but instead of the UK, can you fly to Las Vegas and sing instead?
Oh, how sad.
And you said, well, I don't know. Let me think about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You signed the contract within in 2 seconds. You signed the contract.
3 weeks later, I was in Las Vegas, and that's me telling it quickly because all these years later, I'm still here.
Yeah.
And I've been singing ever since, up until 2020.
Yeah.
I've been lucky enough to be paid to perform as a headliner on all of the luxury cruise ships, and I've been doing what I love to do in sparkles and eyelashes. And
So the good thing is you're still doing it even during this whole COVID situation.
I'm trying, It's been very hard. I think everyone knows when it came to entertainment, we were hit the worst.
Especially with being in Vegas. Can
Yeah.
you explain a little bit, because maybe our audience doesn't know, what is the Abba? You said the Abba show.
Abba.
Yeah, Abba, because, it says it's a great name, but what is it?
ABBA, everyone
The
knows
group.
ABBA. ABBA, the group.
But a lot of people don't. Listening, they
Okay.
don't
No, that's
understand.
true. Yeah, okay. So the show ABBA being an ABBA tribute to one of the best bands ever, I suppose. ABBA Mania is my show.
Yeah.
It started in the West End back in the early 2000s, and now where are we, 21? It's still a touring show now. And today's date is, I'm not sure, but a week from now I'm flying off to Florida to do another 2-week tour in Florida of ABBA Mania.
So
Yeah,
you'll be
I
there
love
2
it.
weeks and come back?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm going to be back singing on stage, why I'm excited. I mean, it's been a minute, but it's exciting because here in Vegas, no one's really singing, no one's doing anything, and this will be a live band, a live show. It's not going to be it's a theatre.
So what makes you so popular? What is your gimmick? Because there's thousands of singers out there. There's incredible singers. So you've obviously got a style to yourself, and I know it's a little bit because she's British, but
You know what?
Well, it's not all British is the reason. I'm sure there's a lot of talent
I'm
there.
going to put.
that's what I mean. Talent.
I'm going to put Carlynn on the spot for this one because she's on the end. But Ninon's asking, what's my
What's so
thing?
unique?
So that's what I'm asking. I don't want to sit here and say I'm this, I'm that. So what makes me unique as Alison, as a singer?
She's
On the spot.
Yeah, on the spot. That's hard. I mean, yeah, she is very talented.
Yeah.
She has a great personality, and it shines on stage. So she can hold a stage on her own without even having anybody behind her. So I think
That's probably
that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah,
Okay.
because you actually grasp the audience.
Yeah.
You got to catch the audience.
I
before
always
anything.
say, I've always been blessed to perform, but I always say I can sing. I'm no like Beyonce, but I can really sing, but I can hold the stage, which, yes, in a headline position on a ship, it could be a lot of people in a room who they've come into a show.
It could be a couple of thousand people in the audience.
But the thing that I say is, they're there on a ship. They're there to see some music, but they might not necessarily be a fan of pop or opera or country or anything, but they always go on the fancy formal night to see it. So whether they like my style or not, they also have to like me. So then I have to sell like a show and a story and my personality and everything. So I guess
Ali walks on a stage. I mean, you can't miss her.
No.
How tall are you? I mean, she's like, I'm going to average, what are you, 5'11"?
and a half, yeah.
Excuse me.
She takes that
Oh,
half.
the
Yeah.
British always.
Just like I take my
It's
half.
like
Five and a half.
Yeah. Well, I'm 5'6.5".
There it is. The half's
The
important.
half's very important,
Well,
especially in
why is it so
Vegas.
important?
I don't know. But the thing is, I always and have always on stage worn massive heels, so I'm actually still
when
about
you walk
6'2".
out, you walk out. I mean, Cher is very, very tall and has the same sort of thing. James, and you're tall.
How tall are
No,
you?
I'm only 5'9".
That's tall.
Well, actually 5'9.5".
Well,
Oh, there you go. See, everyone owns their half.
Since we're getting to
Wait
the
a
half
second. Wait a
thing
second.
here,
James
so
catches on very
I could say
fast.
5'10", but I've shrunk a little bit.
Yeah, we all shrink.
but I always feel more elegant, and I wear beautiful gowns that I've had someone custom made in LA, and I always love going out with the full hair and the makeup and the lashes and the
I love
heels,
it.
everything. I'm always so. Besides the voice and the chatty Kathy, I call myself. I do think the look is also helps as well because I'm a.
And
So
then
how
they-
many times have they asked you if you're Wonder Woman?
I do get that a few times. Yeah, I do stand there because I'm very tall, and I always tower over most people that present me on stage. There's
But
always
even the way you wear
something
your
to do.
hair, you really.
I mean,
do.
not
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
Well, not right
I
now,
didn't
but
prep
yeah,
it well. But
normally.
yes, yeah. But I just love to sing. I've always sang. Some of the footage I show in my show, my very first performance when I was 5. So I've
5 years old.
and the one little weird thing that I can say about me is I've never actually had a singing lesson or a can't read
Wow.
music. No
I
one's.
think then that's you and
actually-
Rudy Valley. Rudy Valley never had a singing lesson. A lot of the singers never had these vocal lessons
Right.
and going on and everything else. And that's why you're so good, because the other day when you're on my show, you actually sang a couple of lines, and it
On
was
the spot?
and it was just perfect. It was, I mean, the beat, it was just perfect, and it's.
I just love to sing, so that's
Oh, she's just talented, and she comes from Britain, and what can we say?
that's it.
Well, we would like to talk a little bit to Carlynn down on the
Yeah.
end. And she actually grew up here in Vegas, and you were actually a dancer here in Las Vegas.
Yes, I grew up as an acro dancer.
Okay. Can you explain what that is?
Well, my mom put me in ballet. Obviously, that's where everything starts when it comes to dance. So I started in ballet, and we at the dance studio had an acro class where they put the mats out on the floor and you tumble.
Acrobatics,
So
yeah.
acrobatics it was. So I learned to do both simultaneously as I grew up here in Vegas. And I went to the Performing Arts High School here as well, and I graduated, and they needed acro dancers in Follies. It was like they couldn't find
Perfect.
any.
So
It was
you
a
were
shortage.
perfect place.
I was the perfect height,
Perfect place.
Yeah,
I just
perfect
wasn't
place to be.
18. I just wasn't 18. I was 16 years old. My mom had to sign my contract, but me and a few other girls that I graduated with in high school went into Follies Bergère together as acro dancers.
Oh,
Wow.
wonderful.
That's great.
Did you
Years on.
like it? Did you kind of it's like starting at 16 years old, starting this career? Did you kind of
It
not
was
excited?
It was
or nervous?
intimidating.
Yeah.
They don't teach you that in dance studio.
No.
Yeah.
They teach you how to bevel, but they don't teach you everything else that happens behind the
yes,
scenes.
yes.
Behind the scenes on a
So
Las
she-
Vegas show, and
At 16, think
You're
about
16
it. You're on
years
the
old,
stage.
yeah,
You know,
and you're in the big hotel. and
In
all
the
that
big
stuff.
hotel,
yeah.
It's gonna
In the
be
big
nerve-wracking.
tall
Nerve-wracking.
showgirls, tall hair pieces. It
Well,
was
there's one of them right here.
yes,
Yeah.
she knows. And I will say that the one thing I know it did for Carlynn is at 16 she ended up moving out and buying, renting her own place. So she was a showgirl at 16 and renting her own. So it definitely made you
I grew up really fast.
Yeah.
Real
I grew up
fast.
really fast.
Especially in Las
I left
Vegas.
home at 16, so I know what it's like.
Yeah.
It's like you get out there and you've got, I think I had $5 or something, that's all I had. I had no money, no nothing. And you go out there and you think, now what do I do?
No.
Well, yeah,
But
I
it
mean, I
works.
wasn't finishing work until midnight, and I'm going
Yeah.
home creeping in the house to get into bed with my sister. So it was time to move up, move out.
Yeah,
And,
there you go. And you made that plunge.
I made that plunge.
Are you happy you did that?
I am. I definitely did grow up really quick.
Yeah.
And then I moved out of Vegas and went and did the whole Branson gig.
Oh, you did?
I
All
did.
right.
I went
Cool.
to Branson for about a year, followed a new magic show that was happening out there with the disappearing elephant,
Okay.
which that was fun.
I don't know what
Just-
this means.
We
but-
did, we had
Yeah.
the disappearing
Did it
elephant.
disappear?
Oh yeah, right out the back
Of
door.
course it did. Why are you
course it
asking
did.
that, Allie?
Just never ever came back.
He
No, the
ended up in
elephant-
Vegas.
No, the elephant came back for the next show.
That's right. And then, over the years, other shows.
Well, there was one thing it always stuck with me, being backstage with all the other acro dancers that were older, in their 20s. They were like, do not stay in Vegas. Venture off, go out, do cruise ships, do something where you can travel.
Yes.
Don't get stuck here. And I did. So I went and I traveled, did cruise ships for 10 years, came back to Vegas, and it was all different.
Yeah, totally different.
And I think we just touched on it before. The fees and the wages were just a lot lower 10 years later.
And
Yeah.
everybody was wearing a lot less during auditions.
A lot less
A lot
clothes.
less clothes in auditions.
Yes.
A lot more hair pieces.
Yeah,
and
a
a
lot
lot,
more.
lot less clothes.
In other words, what you're saying is completely different.
Yeah.
Just completely different. Even wages, I never realized, and I was quite shocked when you were talking about, both of you were talking about how the wage had gone from such a high, which I think you mentioned something like $700 or something
Set
like
back
that.
in 99.
And now it's down to, what did you say, $60
Let's
a
just
night?
say a lot less, yeah.
Wow.
For dancing.
Let's
I'm
just
gonna
say we're
say-
lucky. It's a great salary if they're getting $600 a week.
Yeah. 600 a week, where you should get
As opposed
600
to
a
a
day.
day.
$750, yeah.
No, not
750.
600. Yeah,
Yeah.
not 600 a day. But you got more benefits. You got, health care, 401k. You got your taxes taken out, and you were looked after.
Yeah.
You had security.
I moved here originally in 1978, and I went to work in the hotels in 1979. And I can tell you right now, I made more money then than I made when I left the hotels,
Yes.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And
a lot more money.
Everybody has like 2 to 3 jobs now if you're an entertainer.
Yeah.
When back
Yeah.
then you just had your one.
Yeah.
That was it.
No, that was the one job that you loved.
That you loved,
had to
and-
get
And
me to
now
go.
everyone's got none.
Apart from you, you've got a tour.
So
You've
right
got a
back to
tour.
Ali. So how are we going to be the next big star if there's no place to go?
No, well, we all think and hope Vegas is slowly coming back. I think,
think
it's
so.
Yes, it is.
And one thing that Carlynn has always said at the start of 2020, she was like, it's going to come back, the old Vegas. And she's so happy that it slowly is. Dinner shows, music, live music in lounges.
Well,
where
they're
people-
saying the Mayfair is fabulous.
Oh, yes, if you
they haven't
haven't
been there yet, but they have entertainment
would
there.
love
Can't you
it.
entertain there?
well, I hope one day I can, but
Now-
right now they've got people in there.
There's one thing about Ali. Ali, apparently, when she comes out to perform, she doesn't have a little one of these recording things and everything. She has a band.
Yes.
You have a.
right.
She has a 7-piece band. So when you're talking about a star, you're really. This is what the stars are, and seems to be something you want to stick to.
Live.
And I love it.
Yeah.
So Mayfair, you could perform there.
Mayfair, I think they have a 3-piece or a 4-piece, which is still live.
Well, you
and
could bring a
gorgeous.
couple more people.
Yeah, and I just think I've been so blessed to be backed by 7 musicians that are all live and loving the show just as much. That for me to now go on a stage and just have a curtain and a track playing, press and play.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to explain. That I wasn't quite sure what I was
Yeah,
explaining.
I was with you. It's going to feel a lot less. But
Yes.
now this whole dinner show, and we've touched on Italian Americans coming back with live shows.
Well, they do. I was there the other night, and they have a back room. It's not their front room where they have the restaurant.
The little
it's
after
the back
hours,
room,
yeah.
which is set up with a beautiful stage.
Yeah.
It's all done very elegantly. It's very lovely, and you get a lot of the old,
It's really cute,
the old
right?
players in Vegas.
Yeah.
and they're all coming out supporting
Yeah.
the entertainers, which I
It's
thought
great.
was really, really great. It wasn't half full; it was completely full. It was
That's
sold
great.
out.
Yeah.
It was sold out.
But how it's working is obviously with our new rules of 4 to a table and the 6 feet. The
Right.
dinner shows and the older times of nice theatres and booths.
They need
are
to do that
working.
again.
And that's nice.
And they had the live orchestras even in the lounge shows when I lived here before. Back in the
Remember Louis
80s.
Prima? Louis
Yeah.
Prima was one
Yeah.
of them. He was a lounge show.
yeah.
But he had his big. He didn't have 3 people. He had 4, 6, 7.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a big band. Keely
Yeah.
Smith. They all had the same thing.
So I think it is time for revival of old Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Get back to
I think
what it
we're
used to
ready.
be.
We're
ready.
Yeah, we're
Absolutely.
definitely
yeah,
ready.
yeah.
Well, we wouldn't live here if we didn't
right.
like
We love
entertainment.
That's
Vegas.
right.
And
Yeah.
in the meantime, I have been keeping busy this 2020 with 0 shows and 0 music by doing my Out and About with Ali, which was me just going out and featuring fun parts of Las Vegas that people don't necessarily know about. So hidden gems of the city, and just something to keep me busy over these last few months of going crazy.
So is this a new show of yours?
Yeah, it's a YouTube, almost a YouTube channel, but it's featured on a local British podcast here. And I was the British girl going out showing people what, not only Brits, but what locals can do, and people popping in for a long weekend that instead of just going the strip and gambling and drinking and getting
Sounds
drunk.
good, gambling and
Sounds
drinking
fun.
and eating. That sounds cool.
One week I featured a restaurant down Old
Oscars.
Vegas. It's actually Seven the Cast, I'm just going to say. And he put on a real British roast dinner. So 3 courses.
Why did you call me?
I know. Well,
Come
now
on.
she's going to regret saying that because now I've got a digit. So I'm going to be
That's right.
calling you. But that day, I remember going, it was one of my first filmings, and I went and I was like, this is weird because it really was only British people. There was just only Brits in the room.
We do stick together,
We're
don't
like
we?
a little
I mean,
clan.
Yeah, we're like,
So it was it was a spill the tea episode. So I was there, and it was your sherry trifle and roast dinner.
how
and
was the trifle?
the trifle? I'm a cake person, so that was the best part for me. But
Because
It was good.
Americans do not know how to make trifle.
no,
They
but this
don't.
was good.
There's
This
a
was
certain
good.
way. It's this. It's
We
this-
are sitting here,
Yes,
I know.
We know how to make a
we
good
know.
hot dog for Super Bowl today,
is
right?
Yeah, that's true.
No, but well, we don't know how to make a lot of American food.
No,
which
that's
is
true. I
delicious.
just don't know how to cook anything, so I'm out. Make a good
Well, I'm
poach.
not coming to dinner
No,
with you.
I poach a good egg. I'm a good egg poacher.
Oh,
Excellent.
okay.
That's all you
Poaching
got.
eggs, okay.
And soldiers.
And soldiers.
I'll give you
Egg and
that.
In
soldiers.
Scotland, we have poachers, but they poach something else.
Oh yeah. Fish?
Poaching.
Poach?
Remember, they can find animals. And they...
Oh, no,
no,
not
we
that
don't
kind of.
do
We don't
that.
want that kind of poaching. No, no.
See, tangents. But so yeah, the channel has allowed me to do fun things over the last few months that I really would never have done. Like, I went to the Speedway and was in a Ferrari. That was really fun. An artist that I've always admired, which is Michael Goddard, the guy who does the martinis with the olives. I've always been a fan of his. I had a wonderful tour and met him, but his British connection was he's very close with Ozzy Osbourne, and he had so many cool things. He actually handed me a Ringo Starr guitar that he had signed to him. So I'm sitting there playing the Ringo Starr thing.
Oh, wow.
So,
Can you play guitar?
Oh, God, no. But I tried.
She pretended to play the guitar.
But
She was brilliant.
But I'm going to talk about one that I think Ninon would be great at, which was my very, very first episode. And it was called Showgirl Boot Camp.
Okay.
Showgirl.
Mistin Get.
Yes.
You know Mistin Get?
No, I don't.
Mistin Get is a wonderful... She used to be a showgirl herself. She's created a very safe environment where ladies, girls, sisters, mums, aunts, everybody, you go... And it's a boot camp here in Las Vegas where you go and learn the showgirl
I
makeup.
have heard of it.
You would love it.
This is like a burlesque thing.
Yeah, she gives you the headpieces you put on.
Oh.
You have the whole experience.
Do you get the pasties as well?
Oh, look at you going. That's the
She
extra
thinks,
last
she thinks I don't know about all this
the
stuff.
But oh my goodness, it was so fun. And I have to say, the week I was there was 3 sisters, and it was one of their ladies' 50th birthday, and they'd always booked Vegas, and I'm talking back in August, September of 2020. So her 50th went out the window, but they came. They went to Showgirl Boot Camp, and she loved it. She was like, I would never have done this. She was stood there doing the interview in this big, massive headdress with feathers hanging off her eyelashes.
Those are heavy. Those things weigh a lot.
And then they gradually teach you a step and a combination. And then by the end of it, we all got a certificate to say we were showgirls. And it was fabulous.
You must
love it.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah,
but you must have been really great at the showgirl because you're so tall.
I did, and I did really, really enjoy it. But it was just a really fun thing. Again, not something you would think to just come into Vegas to do, but I think you need to try it.
Do you think I should go there?
I think we should go. Yeah, you should.
We should video you going there,
Yeah,
and then with the former showgirl down here on
exactly,
the end.
all 3 of us.
Okay, so we should all
Dust my shoes off.
We should all go.
But I won't be participating though.
4 of us.
Why?
Well, I'll be behind the camera.
Yeah, you could be behind the camera.
Yeah.
You could do all the filming.
I don't think I'd look good with the headdress.
Why not?
You never know.
Oh,
You don't.
well,
I mean, come on.
I don't know. You might talk me into it. Who knows?
I'll be honest.
why not?
I did. I mean, I've been putting makeup on for shows
I mean,
for
we
years.
could have James Kelly as a showgirl.
That would be it. But I
The next
learned-
Vegas showgirl.
Showboy.
Okay.
No,
all right.
showboy.
But exactly. I think it'd be fun.
Why
But all
not?
I was going to say was, even for me, for someone who's put makeup on for shows for years, they did teach me things that I was like, okay, and
See, you're
sneaky tricks.
you're never too old to learn.
So-
you can always learn something new.
Exactly. And so this is what my Out and About with Ali YouTube has got me doing some fun things to
That's great.
enjoy the
Yeah.
city.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, singing wise, just hoping that it will slowly come back, and something show wise. I have one cruise booked, but it's not till 2022. But I don't think they're
Try
coming
to
back
book at the
anytime.
American Italian Club. They'd
I
love
know.
to have you there.
I already connected with them. It's just that with me
Good.
going off on tour right now, I hadn't really locked
can't-
anything
no,
in. Yeah,
no.
but we'll be back. I mean, a lot of your other guests. I mean, you said the Carpenters are there. What date? March 7th.
I think
February.
Yeah,
March.
no, February.
No, 23rd or something. It's
well,
soon.
check
I don't know. I forget.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it'll
That'll
be on.
be
They're on
fun.
another show where they actually said the dates, and I think.
Yeah,
so.
but there's someone every week. So
I'll
maybe
get back
one
to
week.
James. James, you were talking about, the stars, bringing in new stars and everything. So this is a show you had before, right?
This is a show I had before.
And now
correct.
you're bringing it all back again.
Bringing it
Give
all
us a
back.
little bit about, what, because you're having these fabulous interviews.
Well, what's interesting is like I had a young lady on when she was 16. It was her very first movie. And I thought it would be fun, let's see where her career goes. She and the young man she was with, in the movie were both 16. And then she came back, I think it was 6 or 7 years later when Marty Allen was my guest.
Okay.
And it was his last interview, and unfortunately, he promised he'd be here for the 100th, but he's not going to make it. Anyway, Marty Allen was on the show, and I thought it'd be fun to have someone who's young on, because now she's like 20, 21, 22. And I thought it'd be fun to have them on together.
Yeah.
And his wife, Karen Kate Blackwell, was on with him.
Great.
And that was such a great show, because every time this young lady mentioned an entertainer or a comedian from the past, she'd say, Who's that?
16,
And
yeah.
it's like, oh my gosh, we all know these people, but you don't know this person? And, Ryan was on the show from Chicago, and it was the same way with him.
Yeah.
You're just like, who? Who is that?
I've learned to go back only so far.
Yeah, well.
Although I might be able to go back much further.
I want to touch on the showgirl thing, though, because
Yes.
when I lived here before, I worked at one of the hotels, and I helped set up an event for Kentucky Fried Chicken, of all things. Back then, the men were always the managers, and so we had to come up with something to entertain the wives. And we actually had a 62-year-old showgirl come in full dress with just the rhinestones and the headdress on. And no one could believe she was 62.
Wow.
And she was basically there to show them how she took care of herself, stayed fit, knew how to take care of the skin and stuff. And they loved that.
Oh,
They
yeah.
just loved that.
Oh yeah, that's a real showgirl right there.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I tell you,
yeah.
one of my tangent, my brain went back to. I got to go, sadly, to the closing show of Jubilee. Talk about a showgirl show. And yes, I was there, and it was. I was emotional. I wasn't even in Jubilee. I just had a lot of friends, and with me being in the 6-foot club, I kind of looked like I was one of them. So I went. So I just pretended.
You
but
blended in.
But what was lovely was stood there outside the theatre. All the original older now showgirls.
Yes.
All still, very
that's
tall.
great.
And you could see all the different ages, and they all came for that final curtain closing.
Yeah.
Must have been
So
Cindy
sad.
Demaney must have been there.
Honestly, they all flew in from New York. It
was,
was lovely. So that just reminded me of that. But they all still looked immaculate.
Yeah.
They've kept themselves off a lot, because I've had a few of them on my show.
Yeah.
And they've kept themselves
Yes.
up, and it's amazing. They've still got their tenacity.
Oh,
They've
yeah.
still got that feeling. They still want to go out on stage and do their thing.
Once a showgirl, always a
Always a
showgirl.
showgirl. Yeah. Yeah.
There we go. Here you go now.
So that's your show. I love this show you're bringing up
Yeah.
to get, new
on.
talent
Look at me,
out
I'm
there.
Well,
getting comfy.
yeah, yeah.
You've got your act going. Yes, you've got a whole thing
So
going. Her.
where can we learn more about what you're going to be doing here in the near future?
Well, my website.
You're going to be in Florida, but
I'm going to be in Florida, which is going to be hot, even though we're getting hot here,
Yeah.
70s. My actual official website is AlisonWardOfficial.com. So my information's on there. But with regards to the Abba Dancing Queen, it's going to be AbbaManiaOfficial.com. So the dates are there. And then I guess I'll just let you two know and announce it, Ninon. I'll just text you, tell
text me.
everyone.
But are you going to give us a little voice?
Oh, you just keep putting me on the spot.
I love putting her on the spot. Because her voice is so beautiful and so natural.
And I wouldn't mind the other day. You put me on the spot and I sang the most random song. But
Well, I don't mind what you sing. Whatever you sing, whatever comes out of this body and mouth of yours is absolutely brilliant. It is beautiful.
well, any requests? We could be here all day.
Namakita Pa. Oh, no. Nobody, Namakita Pa. Edith Piaf.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know that one. Give me French.
Edith Piaf, no.
No, I sang one of my favourite ABBA songs is actually Winner Takes It All, but it's a big song. I've been
yeah,
singing
and
that my
the
whole life.
dancing
Just took
queen.
one line. I
But
don't mind.
the other one that I did sing for you was Fernando, and I
I
you
love
want to know
Fernando.
the irony in the show? It's not even my song. Can you hear the
stealing
drums,
somebody else's
Fernando?
song.
I just love it. I remember long ago another starry night like this.
Very
See,
good.
isn't that? I mean, when you ask
And
someone,
it's not my song.
but when you ask someone to do something on the spot and they actually do it, that is a true entertainer.
Yes.
That is a true person. But her voice is so beautiful, James. And I don't know if you heard it the other day, but she's just amazing.
I'll send you
We
more.
haven't heard much from this.
I know. Well, she's my plus one. She's always with me. She's used to hearing me sing. So, what do you like me singing?
Everything.
Yeah, she's an ABBA
everything.
fan.
Really.
Oh, you
I am
are?
an ABBA fan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
Oh,
she's
yeah.
made me an ABBA fan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah.
It's weird because ABBA is so cheesy, but over the 12 years that I've been doing the show, I still love the songs.
Yeah, that's
I'm
good.
not bored
Yeah.
or tired of singing
But that's
them.
why it stayed where it stayed, and that's why it's still out there, because the songs are so. I think the songs probably cover a lot of ages.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
The age thing is not.
And they brought back the movies too. There's a
The movie
there's-
helped.
Yeah.
And Cher.
So that just
Yeah.
made it famous all over
I mean,
again.
it was
I know.
good, but it was also pretty bad
Yeah.
too. Seeing him sing when he was like, remember the scene where he was giving it, where were those happy? He was really serious against the wall. And then Mamma Mia 2, Cher's in it, and Cher.
I know. I love Cher.
But
So,
she was, but it was definitely cheesy. But that's what you got to love about ABBA. It's cheese.
But that's what entertaining is. It's all different.
Yes,
That's what makes
absolutely.
it. You know, Mamma Mia. Look at Mamma Mia. How many years that went for?
I know. And it was here, right?
Yeah.
It was here at Mandalay Bay, and then it took over the old Follies Theater.
That's right.
They
Yeah.
gutted it all out, got rid of the booths, and put in theater seating.
Yeah. So what about, I know what I've got for Carlynn, question-wise, because in entertainment, she's moved on, as we
discussed
we've all
earlier.
moved on.
Yeah,
we've all had to,
yes.
and that's why we're saying, what made you switch from your performer career? When did you know? Because 99 was your Follies, right?
99 was Follies. Yeah.
And your last show was about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yes.
And how did you know that it was time to make the switch to what is now real estate?
When all the shows started to close. Every show just started to close down the strip, and really the only thing left was at Planet Hollywood.
Or Cirque.
Or Cirque.
Yeah.
Unless you were...
Cirque.
But the only way to get into the Cirque
Cirque.
waiting list
Yeah.
is to audition for them for a year straight.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what is this? I always hear that dancers have a limited career anyway. Like,
Well,
how true is that?
I'm actually going to be getting back on stage here soon.
Oh,
I know. I was like,
you're gonna prove that all wrong,
I know.
aren't you?
I was just going to say, it's a
Well,
top.
there's no limit.
It's a top. It's actually a top secret because it's not even been announced officially yet. But what's funny is
Until now.
she just basically confessed her age, which we'll say is 24, but plus 14.
I'm 38.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed of my age.
And
at all.
I keep saying touch wood.
she's
Is
a
this
young'un.
wood? I don't know. Over a
There's wood
career,
somewhere under
I know,
her.
and I'm saying it because I don't know if it's bad luck if you say it. But over your question, as a dancer, sadly, at some point you have an injury or something goes,
Yes.
and then you're like, oh, and you have been blessed to not
Never
have one
had an injury.
Really?
That's what I'm
Entire
like.
And you do all the up in the air
And she's an
acrobatics,
acrobat.
and you've
Yep,
never had an
everything.
accident. Wow.
So that
Never.
I think answers like some people just snap something and then they're out 25, 20, 30. It could be any age, but they literally
But I
would
also
throw my hair up and down.
have to say, yes, I'm 38, which is older for a dancer. But in my generation, along with the older showgirls, we trained our bodies and we
Yes.
conditioned them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's totally different now. What you see the little girls doing and whacking out, it's all style.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
We were trained like
Differently. Yeah,
completely
yeah,
different. So I
yeah.
think that our bodies were. Are a
So do
little
you
bit
still work
stronger.
out? Do you still maintain that same?
I do actually. A really good friend of mine who I used to dance with, she transferred into the personal training field.
Okay.
So she opened up her own gym, and so she is my personal trainer. So I go to her twice a week, and I do Muay Thai boxing.
I was going to
Okay,
say, so
wow.
Envy
Oh.
Training is, she used to be a performer,
Yeah.
so a lot of the performers go to her, but now she started doing...
Muay Thai boxing.
Yeah. Oh, how fabulous.
Yeah, just to keep my stamina up. And
So do you
quick.
jump around a lot? And you're a lightweight.
I am a lightweight.
Not with,
I don't know which
not
way
with,
to take that.
not with alcohol, no.
Oh, well, no, not
I'm
with
talking-
alcohol.
I am talking about boxing.
Yeah, Cobra Kai, the new Netflix recently is all Muay Thai, so it's a different form, but
It's bringing back Karate Kid.
yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
that show's about.
Yeah.
So you're going to be back on this in the spotlight in the
I
near
will.
future.
We're just
In the final
in the
talks.
final negotiations of exactly where the venue's going to be.
Hey, maybe when...
Hello.
Maybe
We
when...
were just talking about that,
I
weren't we?
know.
The
Yeah,
opportunity is
The
open.
opportunity
Yeah.
is right there for
Yes.
anybody out
I
there
think
that
this
wants
is the
their
time,
show.
yeah.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
maybe when it's official, you can come back and tell them.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And-
then
and
you
Don't
bring-
get in trouble.
Yeah.
We'll switch seats.
Yeah, I'll go and be in the corner quiet.
Well, we'll bring
No,
the
you in the corner quiet.
Can we bring in the producer, choreographer?
You're going to bring Allie in the corner quiet?
No,
I don't
no.
think
Wait
so.
for it.
No
No.
way.
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Well, you can't. Number one, she's too tall to go in any corner anyway.
Yeah. No, yeah. When it's all official, maybe the producer, choreographer, the mastermind behind it all can come and tell you more.
Okay.
So I-
absolutely.
so I don't get
We're
in trouble.
fabulous.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
talking too
Yeah.
much. But yeah, I think that's the way forward. People are getting creative. Like we were saying, it's the time to get creative, come up with new concepts. Like, for example, our friend Luke Azara, I know his original show on the ship was one style, but now he's trying out a bit of everything.
Yeah.
He does all sorts now. So you got to just spread your wings and
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
keep flying.
try.
Well, that's exactly what Ninon and I do. We just
Yes.
spread our wings and we just keep
We
flying.
keep flying, and we keep getting these different shows and different things happening, and it's amazing because I personally have not been affected by this COVID-19.
No.
Number one, I haven't had it. Number two, I haven't stopped my show, and neither have you. So James and I are very much in the same arena as of you've got to keep things going and reinventing things.
Yes.
There's a whole
Yeah.
reinvent. It's never going to come back the same. So don't think it's going to. No, it won't come back the same.
But it's all
Which-
here.
which is good.
Yeah.
You got to keep this strong.
Yeah, keep it working.
And positive,
It's called a brain, actually.
I will say, in terms of shows, just before, let's talk about 2019. I always get messages off friends who are coming in from the UK saying, what show shall I see? Where shall I go? What will I do? And that was where my Out and About with Ali came, because I'm always telling people what to do. And it was always Cirque, or I found that, like, J-Lo and Celine and Gwen, it was all celebrities. It was either Cirque or celebrities. That
or
we
concert.
had.
Yes.
Concerts, basically,
Yes.
right? Oh, that were expensive. Like, big price tickets. When you think of Cirque, they're on the higher end. When you're paying for J-Lo, it's on the higher end,
Right.
So what's good about the changes is it's coming back and back
It's
to basics.
reasonable.
'Cause it goes back to your question.
Everybody can go.
That's what made me, kind of transition.
Yeah.
Because all the little guys were getting pushed out by the big guys.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was
Exactly.
that
Now we're
time-
starting to see it come
Yeah.
Now
full
it's
circle.
Full circle, where people can try.
Going to give you some advice when you get back out there on the stage, and you will.
Okay.
When you get your own show here, one of the things you want to do is you want to invite all the room service servers for a free night throughout the big hotels.
Okay.
Because they're the ones who tell all the guests about the shows that they need to see.
And the taxi drivers.
and the taxi
And the taxi
Uber,
drivers,
Uber
yeah.
drivers,
And the
taxi
Uber
drivers,
drivers.
yes.
Yeah.
And then just you two, because you've got the big...
I think she's trying to say we've both got big
Big mouths. I know. Yeah. I got that
My
too.
new
Yeah.
management here. Yeah.
We do promote. We do promote.
Yeah.
James and I promote Las Vegas
Yes.
and the entertainment, and that's music and entertainment is the full thing. And I think they need that, especially when you were talking about, is the ones that are unknown, the ones that aren't out there, the ones that don't get the shot to be on the big talk shows. I've got a little talk show. Anybody can come on my show, though it's quite popular. Thank you for everybody out there. But we really let the people that are not able to get on and get a voice out there, and that's what we give. And I think that is actually the new arena with the Zoom and all this stuff
Yes.
going around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where we're all going. So don't be afraid. Get out there and get on all the shows.
And it is sad because I personally have lost friends in the Vegas industry who lived here and had jobs in like Cirque and O, and they had to go back home.
Cirque
and they
goes down.
But I mean, we're talking, people on visas from foreign countries.
Yeah.
Right.
They've all gone, which is horrible. Again, lost best friends to go back to different places. But it then also means that when those shows reopen, there will be opportunities for people who are here,
That are still
who live
here,
here,
yes.
to get into jobs that they never could because people from here, there, and everywhere. So
Yeah.
I guess it's a way of just moving forward and looking up.
Yeah, just figure it out as you
Staying
go.
hopeful.
But I certainly think this is the time for someone like you to have your show and get it on
Absolutely.
the strip
Thank you.
somewhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go for it. Go
I
for
mean-
it. Yeah.
Right.
You've got the personality. You've
No
got everything.
pressure.
You've got the experience. No, it's just for you.
Yeah, no, it will. I
But
should.
don't forget to let your guests talk a little bit. Because I have a habit of talking a lot.
I was going to say, what, Ninon?
I talk so much. And I admit I know I talk too much and everything else, but that's just my personality. So, and you've got the same personality.
I do another couple other talk shows, and I'm always having to interrupt guests because of those are a different type show, and I'm always having people criticize me like, why do you constantly interrupt your guests? Sometimes we have to.
Well, yes, because otherwise...
Because we go off on tangents, as Ali said. We
gotta
go
get
off on
back on
tangents. We got to bring people
do,
back.
Yes.
So.
But that's what a host is supposed to do. You're supposed to interrupt.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it. Okay, so
Yeah.
you won't have to worry about that.
It's my show.
We didn't hurt
It's
your
your
feelings,
show.
right?
No,
Oh, no, she's English.
Trust
no,
me.
no.
you're not the first people to tell me to shut up.
Yeah, well, like, people tell me to. Why does Ninon talk so much?
No, you don't.
Well, I
Well,
don't know.
we're about to close the show, and I want to thank you
Aw.
so much, Alfie Beyond and Carlynn,
Carlynn, yeah,
for being on
I-
the show with us.
This has been
Amazing.
fun.
And definitely, I want to have you guys back again.
Oh,
This will be so
great.
great.
We'll be
It's so
here
much
every
fun.
week. I'll bring the dogs next week.
Hey, I'll bring mine.
Yeah. Oh,
We'll have a doggy show.
I don't have dogs, but I'll just bring me.
yeah.
Okay.
That's all we need. Yeah.
So, Ninon, thank you so much for co-hosting.
It's
and
been
being,
amazing.
Yeah,
It's
we're going to be doing
amazing.
this in the future.
We're going, did I do it? Hang on a second. Let's see if I did okay. Did I do okay to be co-host?
You always do
what
great.
Do you think? Do you think I'm okay?
You're
Right,
fabulous.
always,
you look
yeah.
fabulous. You are
Yeah.
fabulous.
There you
And,
go.
I
That's
just,
right.
That's
That's
I
right.
love it.
But thank
Right,
you.
thank you
Yeah.
so
You're
Thanks
amazing.
for having us.
Yeah.
I respect this young lady because you're on the smaller side. Shorter
You
side.
know,
5.5.
But she made it. No, but you made it, and you went out there and you did it, and there was nothing to stop you.
That's
No,
right.
So,
I wasn't.
and
Thank
I
you.
admire that because
Yeah,
she's
I
one
do
of the
too.
people that you've got to look up to because they think, oh, I'm too short and I can't do it. That's not true.
Yeah.
No.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Always just show people
I'm
what
having
you
a
can
lovely
do.
time with this
Don't
one.
let them tell you what you
Yeah,
can't
what
do.
you can't do. Listen to the one say
Prove
what you
'em
can
wrong.
do.
Yeah.
What you can do.
Alright.
Exactly.
Well,
Wow.
thank you, and
I've
until
lost
next
it.
time, this
Yeah.
is your host, James Kelly, Ninon,
Ali.
and Carlynn, and thank you for listening to The Next
Yeah.
Big Star.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Jay.
You've
Thank
got to
you.
find the next big star.
I know.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
We found them.
Thank you. Thank you, James.
Thank you. The following is an outtake before the show began. Uh-oh.
I was
Technicality.
ready.
Oh, no. Now we'll have to start all over again, won't we?
Now I need to.
Yeah.
Let me check my
Send the makeup person in, please. Makeup.
I have to say, Ninon, I repeated one of your lines the other day.
Which one was it? Oh, God.
It was Carlynn might know what it was.
What was it?
When you arrived, I peed my pants when you straight up said to
Oh,
Lou,
to Lou.
"You've got more makeup on than me." And I went,
I always, you've got it when you walk in.
his
most
eyebrows were
places.
like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, well, I mean, looking at this guy, he's gorgeous. It's like sometimes I have bigger diamonds than me, and I'm really upset.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't want that.
that was my favourite line of the day.
What, bigger diamonds?
No, got more eyebrows
You've got
than
more-
me.
Yeah, you look at your I'll go home and get my makeup
He
done.
looks fresh.
He looked fabulous.
Yeah.
You look better than I look. So.